All the practice is over.
Suddenly the season is underway.
It is time to get down to business.
Months of planning, massaging, and preparation, it all comes down to this.
There are a variety of stories and drivers with different goals throughout the field today.
There's a lot of tension down there.
The excitement, the enthusiasm down here on pit road is real. The drivers are excited. They're ready to go.
Today, anything could happen.
Everyone planning what their moves are going to be.
It's time to rock and roll NASCAR style.
It's going to be memorable.
Here they come now. 43 cars are on the track.
Green flag is out.
Green flag goes in the air.
Racing with the big guns of the Nextel Cup Series.
Who's going to lead the first lap?
Seems to get better after a few green flag laps.
We know just how difficult it is to pass.
Everyone stacked up 2 by 2 by 2.
There's some hungry drivers in that group of traffic.
Clear air and clean racetrack up ahead.
Got to protect that car, take good care of it.
The old hot knife through butter.
Ford and Chevy wheel to wheel.
Always one of my favorite places. This is basically a shootout right now.
Action is hot and heavy.
Nearly 3 wide.
Everybody stays single file.
This is a wreck looking for a place to go. Oh! Brad is out. Oh, trouble. Junior.
Caution flag coming out.
Uh-oh, we got trouble here.
A little bit of contact.
It sounded like kaboom.
Right front tires go flat and the cars want to go straight.
A driver cannot second guess himself. That's a tire.
Your right front tire has blown.
The list is growing of the good guys and the bad guys.
Pit road's going to be a busy place. How many will come to pit road?
Do we pit? Do we stay out?
Here they come on the pit road.
Everyone has decided to come on the pit road. 4 tires and fuel.
Crew looking over the tires.
Make a 4-tire change here.
Almost every time he has beat everybody back out.
There's no question the intensity has picked up.
Anything it takes is the answer right now.
There have been some tremendous battles. Checkered flag waves.
Terrific run for those guys today.
Strong race car all day long.
Sometimes you have to gamble to win.
Should have seen what this team here overcame today.
The odds favor some, the gods favor others.
A big celebration taking place, a big win.
Close doesn't count, only winning does. He has always been a very popular driver with the fans. This guy is rewriting the book.
You want to know what winning this race means to someone? Have a look.
You can feel the pride and you can hear the passion.
What a wild victory celebration.
"88 racers, 36 races, 22 tracks, 19 states, 1 chase, 1 cup, 1 dream." NASCAR is a sport of spectacle, speed, and splendor. A parade of 43 teams powering 700 horsepower machines past crowds 150,000 strong. It's a sport where a common man can become the king, and where a country kid can become the man. So what is it about NASCAR that makes it the biggest spectator sport in the nation? Can over 100 million Americans really be wrong? Not in this case. For fans of NASCAR, races aren't just sporting events. They're religious experiences. Each week is a pilgrimage to one of 22 different tracks, 22 different Meccas. In other sports, fans show up 3 hours early. In NASCAR, fans show up 3 days early. NASCAR was born in the South, but today it's a national sport where people from red states and blue states come together under Purple Mountain's majesty. After all, in what other race would you ever hear someone say,
It's going to be a dominant day at New Hampshire 4 Busch.
in NASCAR, a driver can run his best race of the year and still come up short because another driver drove his best race a little faster. The race for the checkered flag is also a race for tomorrow's headlines. In a sport measured in miles, mere inches can determine a season of effort, and a car can go from front runner to yesterday's news. On race days, the NASCAR track is a whirling centrifuge that separates the men from the boys. It's a place where blistering speeds and finely tuned thunder shake the stands and bystanders alike. It's where a 10-cent part can put an end to million-dollar dreams, and where the rules of the road are governed by the law of physics and the art of racing. The NASCAR race is not a sprint. It's a marathon run at top speed. It's a 36-race war of attrition where Jeff Gordon, one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history, can win 3 of the season's first 9 races, then stumble the rest of the way, miss the postseason chase, and watch his dreams of a 5th championship vanish into the mist. And NASCAR, above all else, is living the dream. Some have been living the dream for 20 years or more, but it's the sport that keeps them young, and so they return every year, a flock of Peter Pans, little boys lost in the moment, flying around the track, outrunning their own shadow, racing to reach Neverland first. Turn left and straight on till dawn. Living the dream keeps crew chief Doug Richert feeling like a kid.
I've never done this before, but catch me.
That was a box dive.
Richert was just 19 years old when he won his only cup in 1980, manning the pit box for the legendary Dale Earnhardt. In 2005, Richert and driver Greg Biffle finished second, missing the Nextel Cup by 35 points. Now, Richert is once again left to dream of next year. For Jeremy Mayfield, chasing the championship is also a big part of living the dream. Last year, he finished 10th in the chase. This year, he finished 9th. At this pace, he'll win the Cup in just 8 more seasons. Over a 24-year span, Ricky Rudd lived the dream. Week in, week out, for 788 consecutive races. To put Rudd's streak in perspective, Cal Ripken Jr., baseball's Iron Man, started his consecutive game streak, broke the Major League record, retired, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame, all while Rudd kept on racing.
Ricky Rudd wins the 4th Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis.
How about that, huh? I hear you, big dog. I hear you.
To put it another way, 2005 Rookie of the Year Kyle Busch was still 4 years from being born when Rudd's streak began. In his first Nextel Cup season, Kyle and the Kellogg's car looked great, exploding onto the scene with a snap, crackle, and pop as Busch became the youngest driver ever to win a Cup race. On the other hand, a late-season suspension from Roush Racing forced Kyle's older brother Kurt to say cheerios to the chance to defend his Nextel Cup crown. Next year, Kurt will move to the number 2 car, replacing retiring Rusty Wallace. But just ask Wallace, who made 2005 his last call. The chance to win a championship doesn't come calling every year. In 1989, Wallace won his only Cup title. 1989. Has it really been so long ago? Not if you ask Rusty. It was only yesterday. And now, yesterday is gone. Who will carry NASCAR into tomorrow? Will it be Greg Biffle? In 2005, he served notice to the NASCAR world. There's a new sheriff in town. Or will NASCAR flip for Carl Edwards, who somersaulted onto the scene in his first full Cup season, finishing third in the championship chase? Edwards may stand at the forefront of NASCAR's new wave of fresh-faced drivers. But the weathered look of veteran Mark Martin embodies the stoic face of the sport. Despite reaching victory lane 34 times, Martin has never laid hands on a championship. Now, after a quarter century of racing on the Cup circuit, he has become NASCAR's Ahab, chasing his own white whale. One thing's for certain, even if he captures that elusive title, his life in racing, like that of Ahab's, will be defined by the hunt itself. Mark Martin, chasing the dream, not realizing that all the while, he's been living it.
Tony Stewart will win his first victory of the season. Tony Stewart takes the checkered flag at Daytona.
Tony Stewart wins today at New Hampshire.
Tony Stewart goes back-to-back and wins at the Glen. A native Hoosier, his dream comes true. Tony Stewart wins at the Brickyard.
And the 2005 Nextel Cup Series champion is Tony Stewart.
Let the party begin.
For Tony Stewart, there's no question that 2005 was a whale of a season. But for the Indiana native, Stewart's chase dreams were more like John Mellencamp than Herman Melville. A grease monkey team with a grease monkey driver saying, "Lord, this must be our destination." The championship chase is the ultimate race, and the Nextel Cup is racing's ultimate checkered flag. But in any race, there can only be one winner. Only one team will find Neverland. For the other 87, the road to the Nextel Cup will meet a dead end on the boulevard of broken dreams. In the end, the true engines that drive NASCAR are not built of steel, but are born of man. For in victory lane, teams realize a dream that no man could reach alone, and reveal a human spirit that no machine can measure. After all, NASCAR is a sport of spectacle, speed, and splendor. It's not about machines, for machines don't dream. Daytona is the mecca of the NASCAR world. And every season begins with the great American race, the Daytona 500. It's a chance for racing's faithful to get their first look at the icons of their sport. In 2005, a pair of former Cup champions battled for the checkered flag.
Hey, boys, we got him! Daytona 500! Woo-hoo-hoo! You guys are awesome!
With Jeff Gordon's victory, the teams of Hendrick Motorsports began their season with a dominant start. 2 weeks later in Las Vegas, the Hendrick dominance continued as the number 48 glided to victory lane. In 2005, Jimmy Johnson wrote the next chapter in what is beginning to become a storybook career. In his fourth full season in the Cup Series, Johnson took the points lead after Las Vegas and held it for the next 17 races. The catalyst for the team's success, his owner, Rick Hendrick.
He is so well respected that, you know, any word that he utters, people pay attention to. Mr. Hendrick walks in, like, everybody's like, oh, you know, there's Rick, you know, there's, you know, I mean, he's the man. He's done so much, he's accomplished so much in his life. He's won a bunch of championships. He owns a bunch of great race teams. He's got a bunch of great race car drivers, and he's got a great family, and he's got a great group of friends. He's probably the most true, genuine person that I've ever met, and I think that a lot of people feel the same thing.
Brian Vickers is a genuine star in the making. The number 25 won the pole at Loudon and at Pocono, where he led 121 of 200 laps. At the Coca-Cola 600, he led all drivers with 98 laps. For the next 14 races, he finished in the top 15 in every race but 2. But when NASCAR returned to Charlotte in the fall, that hot streak came to a fiery end, leaving the road to victory open to teammate Jimmy Johnson.
We obviously consider our home racetrack, as Lowe's being the primary sponsor of the facility, and Hendrick Motorsports only being a mile down the road. It's a great place for us to go. We bring a lot of our friends, a lot of our family.
Here he comes, outside,
Just like in Atlanta last March.
In the spring race at Lowe's, Johnson had battled Bobby Labonte down to the wire.
Through parts of the race on Sunday, I really doubted the fact that we could win the race.
With 20-some laps to go, we were sitting in 20th position, and we were able to pass that many cars in that short of time period, and you just don't see that.
Rookie of the Year Kyle Busch drove with a talent beyond his years. At California, Busch became the youngest Cup driver ever to win the pole. And then he returned in the fall to become the youngest driver ever to win a Cup race. In the Golden State, Busch became NASCAR's newest Golden Boy.
All right, man. Here it is. White flag, white flag. One more, buddy. One more.
Anything that would have come over the radio, if there was a pin drop in that race car, I probably would have, juked out like, what was that?
Here it is. Here it is. Don't yell at me like that. My nerves are already through the roof.
It was amazing coming to the checker flag. I just let loose on the radio. I mean, I was just so overwhelmed that it was just, you had to let it all out right there.
They're through the roof, but that is it. Yeah, get it, get it, get it.
The opportunities are so great here, and to have a young crew chief and a young driver in this position, the sky's the limit.
Good job. Way to do it. Thank you. You know that, right? You're this driver that rode that next. Did we break it? Yeah. 3 days. That's awesome, right?
Alan and myself being so young, I think we have a great future together. We're going to make our own chase right now and see how we can compete against the best of them.
With unwavering leadership, the teams of Hendrick Motorsports have galvanized their place at the forefront of the NASCAR world. At the start of the 2005 season, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated tinkered with team chemistry, switching the crews of the number 8 and the number 15. The experiment resulted in only one win for DEI at Chicago.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has struggled all season, but today, the Great 8 goes back to victory lane. Earnhardt wins in Chicago.
My team had been beat up pretty bad mentally throughout the year. They've taken a lot of responsibility for how we've ran. Was real happy more so to see them enjoy themselves a win than anything. About that whole day, that was the biggest reward for me, was to see the guys get what they deserve. It's a real good feeling that you all done it together. You never know when you just might win your last race. The next time you get a win, you better celebrate it like it's your last.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s win was his last of the season. Next year, DEI will return to its proven formula.
88 fooled me, didn't he, guys?
At Yates Racing, 2005 saw a reunion as Dale Jarrett and crew chief Todd Parrott rejoined forces at season's end.
All the way, baby, all the way! Come on, baby, dig! Woo-hoo!
Parrott and Jarrett went all the way for the number 88's first win in 98 races. Next year, Jarrett and teammate Elliott Sadler will again see shakeups on the pit box. For Evernham Motorsports, 2005 ended with mixed reviews. Next year, Ray Evernham hopes to change the entire crew chief paradigm. Ganassi Racing's Jamie McMurray contended for the chase until the last race of the regular season. Next year, he'll be driving for Roush Racing.
Jamie McMurray around to the outside wall. Matt Ketchup got into him coming into the corner, and McMurray goes for a ride and slams the safety barrier here in turn 3.
For Kevin Harvick and Richard Childress Racing, early success gave way to a late swoon.
Kevin Harvick is one hungry driver. He failed to win in 2004. Would like to end the drought today. Looks inside at Greg Biffle in turn 1. They're side by side now in turn 2. Biffle opens the door up. Here comes your new leader. Kevin Harvick leads on the back straightaway. Biffle in second. Elliott Sadler third.
It'll be a great day for Childress. He's end up on the pit box.
Kevin Harvick from the back to the front scores the 77th career Cup win for owner Richard Childress.
Great job, buddy. You done a heck of a job, all you guys.
Harvick's season highlight came in April at Bristol, but his chase chances ended on that same track, thanks to bad luck and worse advice.
Outside, spin a birdie, go low, go low, go low, go low, go low. Good job.
Oh, Kevin Harvick.
At Penske Racing, Rusty Wallace and Ryan Newman both made the chase, even if neither driver saw eye to eye. Newman was dominant in qualifying, winning 8 poles, but race days were not as smooth.
Really tight up here running the top.
Tempo free up on the next stop. Ryan Gauss will be pitting in about 5 laps. We're out of our window right now, and 5 laps will be in our window.
While Newman started the chase strong but limped to a 6th place finish. 2005 marked the final run in the legendary career of Rusty Wallace.
It's been a great ride. It's been over 23 years of racing, and I had a great time. You guys are awesome. We raced hard together, and I'll never forget the rest of my life, and it means a lot. And so it's either going to be, looks like Carl or Tony or Jimmy or Greg. One of you 4 is going to get this thing, and whoever gets it, just do your damnedest to respect the sport, because driving these cars is a privilege. It's not something that we just do. It's not many people get to do this, and I'm grateful that I got to do it. If I roughed anybody up along the way, I'm sorry. Didn't really mean it unless it paid more. But we'll have a good time. You guys have a great race today, and thank you very much for 23 years of great race and a lot of fun. Thank you.
To a NASCAR fan, admission is more cherished than a golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Spectators fill the stands like children drawn to the banks of a candy-colored river of cars. They watch as it flows past, and they listen to a treat of sounds.
Okay, to let her rip, man.
Don't say that around him.
All right, now.
Be careful, save your tires. He's got to finish.
I know.
As drivers man their machines, teams prepare for the task at hand. All eyes are on the track, and all ears are tuned in for any final thoughts.
Same thing as last week, just be patient. You know what kind of car you got, so we won't win it in the first 25, but we'll get up before the end. Go get ourselves a win this week. Take care of that thing, Mark. We'll go wear them out of 10, bud.
Have fun today, one car at a time. Watch your fenders.
Long day. It's going to be a lot of adjustments. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. This is a real race here. We're going to have a blast tonight. I can't wait to get out there and get going.
All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start!
engines.
That
must be the new Batmobile or something.
Yeah, that Batman car is cool looking.
You'd look good doing wheelies with that thing, Bob.
Yeah, I'd be bound to wreck it first time out, though.
Does it do wheelies?
It looks like it could.
Hey, you just can't sit up here for free, man. You gotta work. You get the leader every lap. I'll get Joe. I'll get your dad, you get the leader.
Me, believe it or not, they won't let us go until the football game's over with. They're waiting for the Notre Dame USC game to end before they crank the engines. Going to overtime. The score, 28-31, Notre Dame. Minutes left. Minute 44 seconds. Only 10 minutes, normal time. Exactly.
Final score, 34-31, USC.
Thank goodness.
It's easy to see, or precisely to hear, what makes NASCAR so popular. Scanners allow fans to tune into their team's huddle, but sometimes those lines of communication don't come across loud and clear.
Hey, Roman, you hear that?
No, It might be your radio up there. It keeps breaking up every now and then.
Make sure you check John Hunter's to make sure he is not doing it.
I hear it. You hear it?
All right, find the radio guy right now. Somebody go get him.
Try channel 2 there, Kevin, if you can.
Todd, you on 1 or 2?
I'm on 1, but we need to try something different.
He can hear them fine, but they cannot understand a word he is saying at this time.
Kevin, you'll have to say something 2 or 3 times, whatever you got to do.
As long as you hear Todd good and clear right there, you all good.
Car's off. Let's be ready. Be ready. Ready. Ready.
During green flag racing, dialogue usually takes a back seat to the concentration needed to drive full speed, inches apart. But that doesn't mean that the scanner is always silent.
Wide open, boys.
And once in a while, concerns and conversations can't wait for the caution flag.
If you're still a little too free, you can turn your right front brake blower off.
You have to tell me what it is, because it says bottom brake, top brake, rear, front, top bead. I don't know what the front brake is.
Top bead.
Why does it say bead when it's the brake?
All right, Greg, I'm going to just get you up to date here. The reason that there's upper brake and lower brake is we've got them on separate circuits. So if one shorts out, we don't lose all our brakes. So we have top blowers on one switch and lower blowers on another switch. And then the bead blower blows only at the right front bead.
Okay. Just doesn't say front brake on it is all. I mean, you know, if it said front brake, it'd be a lot easier.
10-4. Be there next week.
Pit road is ruled by speeding penalties. Pit stops are ruled by crew chiefs. But oftentimes, the results can be ruled by Murphy's Law.
You guys be ready to roll the left front. Hopefully you ain't gonna spend much time there, Bobby, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop turning in a little bit, come on. Right here. Never mind. Go all around. Tire. Go get it. Go get the tire. Which is fine, guys. Don't worry about it. Put it in gear. Don't worry about it, Bobby.
Gonna have a busy pit lane. Go. One lane only. Up.
What's the nine? 4 cars coming. Hold up. Go. Outside. Damn it. Go. Damn it. Push it. Let's go. Bobby, did you hear me say forget about that? Okay, you were slow getting your index, okay? That cost us 2 spots. Listen to what I tell you. 3,400. Watch your speed, 30. Ask them how we can work together, if we can get the right of way or what they want to do, you know? I don't have any idea what these idiots are going to do. That's the problem, you know?
Freaking have a damn day without any mistakes.
And what was all that about in there? Now we're dead last.
We rolled a tire, and we had to get it. If we hadn't have got it, we'd have been tail end. If we hadn't got it, either way, we just eased up.
All right, Joe, tail end of the longest line. Our tire got away from us, went across pit road.
All right, guys, come on, man. That's a simple mistake. We can't be making mistakes like that.
To the right. Let's take a second.
NASCAR races can be less like sporting events and more like concert festivals. During any given weekend, who knows what fans and teams will see?
Guys hear that I lost the contest against Michael Waltrip for being the sexiest between the two of us? Got to be embarrassed. Is it nice outside, or is it still muggy? No, it's lemonade weather. It's beautiful. It's what? Lemonade weather. Somebody's got a hell of a barbecue going off turn 4 over there. Yeah, it's full, right? I don't smell it, though. Yeah, there's about 3 grills down through there, right in turn 4. They're just smoking them. Chicken legs. Looks like they're drinking beer down there, too. I can't believe that. You got RC wave there, RC. You're on it, brother. Do what? On the Jumbotron, man. You're on. Got him on the Jumbotron. Tell him to start doing the raise the roof sign. They have the widescreen for me.
On the track, problems can happen anytime, anywhere. There's no predicting what these problems will be. But it's the job of the crew chief to solve them.
All right, Ryan, we're going to be pitting here with the lap down cars. Guys, get the left sides off, have hammers ready to make sure we get everything cleared on the left.
You get every lap we can on the caution flag. There is no green flag running for this car.
Guys, get something. You're going to have to cut that away or something. Get something to cut it with. Going to have to be fast here, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right here. Put tires on. 4 tires, guys, so we can roll around. Get some sheet metal off of there if you can. You okay on the right side?
Stop to hold that deck lid up. We're not going to be in too bad a shape here.
But you got to get it up. It's about 6 inches low right now.
Roll it. Down easy. Somebody down easy.
Don't work on it. Let me come back around.
This car is traced. The right front A-frame is... Know that. We're just trying to make as many laps as we can on the caution here.
Open that grill up, Tom. Tom, open the grill up if you can up top. You think you can bare bond the thing back on there? Just bare bond that corner and go with it.
Get a sawzall and cut that left rear quarter panel. Okay, give me the hammer in the... Right here.
With a 4-inch tape underneath that aluminum right there. Underneath the aluminum, John Deere.
Guys, this is Martinsville, and we don't have anything out.
Yeah, there's some things in the crash cart that...
Gotta go. Guys, get tires on. Get tires on. Go. Let's go.
Go ahead, bud. You're good. You're on speed.
Dig. Go. Telling you, I know how it's going to be if we don't get that thing up right.
We're trying to work on it, okay? We can't do it all, and I'm trying not to lose many laps here, okay? I don't think we're going to make it.
Damn it! How do you get lapped? How? You're the 3 smartest guys in the garage area to fix this thing, Larry Carter. Get your ass off that fix box instead of talking so damn much.
I don't have a fire suit or a helmet, or I certainly would go over and fix it.
Enjoying it? We'll get running a little better here.
There are 4 courses in NASCAR that are considered short tracks. With high banking, perpetual left turns, packs of cars, and door-banging action, it's easy to understand why it's at short tracks, where tempers can be at their shortest.
The list is growing of the good guys and the bad guys.
Thing that you turned right into his quarter panel. That's why he's upset.
I had to finally stand my ground, Joey. Can't believe they say I'm the bad guy. I mean, shoot, everything that's happened today is something that I've done along the lines. I can't be the only one in that group now.
It looked like the car just got away from Gordon. I believe he was alone.
No, 20 hit him. Oh, 20 actually hit him? 20 hit him.
Those 2 at the front right there. Oh boy, that coil of water there. Don't mix.
Just turn right here and drive right in the side of the 20. Is that okay?
No, come in here.
Oh, Tony! Tony ducked underneath Vickers and slid up the track into Wallace and went for a spin.
Rusty Tim.
We'll be all right here, buddy. Tell me about your car. Did you hit anything?
No, just that stupid mother that evidently didn't see my race car down there.
And you keep your eye on that 20 too. You know he's a sneaky son of a gun.
Remember, babe, use your head, not your anger.
I can tell you right now, I ain't done yet. I'm mad right now. They both got to watch out for me now.
Ryan, just so you know, Tony's
yelling on the radio saying that you and the 17 pissed him off, and you both better watch out.
I'm in a big picture. We got to finish this thing. I know you can do it. Just Eagle strangle the 11 spotter. The 11, he's in the first wreck every week. He wonders why. I did talk to the 11 spotter. He kind of thought it was comical, so. Laugh in his face and tell him that's why he's locked down.
Oh, Riggs is sideways, gets in a bush and turns him around. Turns Bush into the outside retaining wall.
That car is about the stupidest car on this racetrack. Yeah, we need to get our driver. Yeah, someone needs to go down there and get the driver, man. It looks like he's going down pit road from up here.
Think he's mad?
I think Kurt just found himself all the way down to the 10 pit box, just saying hello, I think, to the crew chief there, asking him what he was thinking. I think that's, couldn't read his lips, but I'm sure there was a few nice words in there.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Matt goes up the hill just a little bit. Ricky just gets in the throttle and just gets in the back of it.
I just don't know why he's putting me out. I mean, what did I do?
He's sorry. He doesn't like driving like that.
Yeah, okay, why does he then? I don't like to mow the lawn, so I don't mow the lawn.
10-4.
NASCAR has warned all the teams and their drivers to settle down, that they will not only park them for this race, but for future races.
They say that this stuff has got to stop. If it continues, you will not race next week.
Keep putting up with it. They'll park you for the rest of the season.
Talking to? Just everybody?
43 men driving those machines.
Can't take this much longer. I've been racing 30 years. I can't do this anymore. We've got to do something here. I can't take it anymore.
Every year, there are a few vintage races that define a season. It may be a dominant performance, a photo finish, or a moment where a team's dreams come true.
Bush to the outside. Gordon slams the door into turn 3.
Jeff Gordon's going to lead him into turn 4. They're 1 mile from home.
This is going to be another one of those Atlantas. I'm telling you, they're going to be side by side when they come to the line next time by.
Here they go. White flag, boys. Last time. He's there.
Here comes Carl Edwards. He cuts it down to a car length.
You're letting him in. Clear. One last charge right here, man.
Jimmy Johnson's three-peat is 1 spot away.
Kane trying to hold him off, can't do it. Side by side in front of his sweep. They sweep into 2 and onto the backstretch. Tony Stewart takes the lead at Indy.
Greg Biffle pulls right up on him, tries to stuff it up the middle. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead.
Come on through there, bud. Come on through there.
What a move by Greg Biffle as he takes the lead up the inside.
Jeff Gordon's going to win his 3rd Daytona 500.
We got him. Daytona 500.
Johnson tries to squeeze him. Edwards to the outside. Jimmy Johnson to the inside. Edwards riding the rim on the top side of the racetrack. Down to the stripe. They touch.
And I think Gordon's got the advantage. He wins it.
You got him. Yes. Good job. Yes. What a big car. You are the big. Awesome job, buddy.
Here he comes, outside.
Just like in Atlanta last March. He's not going to be able to do it, I don't think.
Move him up. Move him up. Hey, baby, bring it to the house. You rock. Yeah!
The last trip down the front stretch. Tony Stewart, a native Hoosier, his dream comes true. Tony Stewart wins the All-State 400 at the Brickyard.
For the man! Oh! Yeah! Yeah! Woo! Yes!
Anything it takes is the answer right now in the final race of the year.
5 to go when you get here, bud. 4 to go. 4 to go. 3 more time. 2 to go. Run me 1 more good lap, brother.
Martin to the low side. Biffle to the high side.
Greg Biffle wins the race.
Biff, you're the man. Woo! Oh, great job, guys. Great job. Woo! Great job, driver. Great job racing. You guys, I love you. You're the best.
got the big one, boys. Woo!
Yes! And that's after 500 miles of racing.
Burn them down. Bring down the house, man.
If I don't go up that fence,
Awesome, Greg. That's unbelievable. Way to go, guys.
Hey, sweetie, I'm calling you to your phone. So, what's the number? Call me back. I love you,
NASCAR, a golden ticket to a world of sight, sound, and emotion.
Tony Stewart, the Rushville Rocket from Indiana, is the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup champion.
What I didn't realize is the wake that was happening behind me. I mean, I was like a tornado. I mean, where I would go, I would leave a path of destruction. To take that step back, I mean, it was like going back and having to hit a reset button.
It was kind of just a matter of getting all of us focused together, all realizing if we all work together, this will all be a lot easier than fighting each other.
For those guys to stay with me through the bad times, now we can finally reward them with a good time.
For Joe Gibbs Racing, it was the best of times. Already with the trophy case full of treasures, the organization hoped to deliver its next prize-winning team.
It's really hard for me to put it into words how honored I am to be driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. Their drive to win races and championships is second to none.
Gibbs hoped the FedEx car would augment its already impressive arsenal. But optimism soon faded, beginning at the first race of the year.
Bobby Labonte has a problem.
Caution is going to be on the speedway the first time this afternoon, and Bobby Labonte's day may be going up in smoke.
One car gets turned. It's John Andretti. He collects Jason Leffler as they slide through turn 3 and 4.
Leffler in the 11 car had nowhere to go.
That 20 car, Tony Stewart, he showed his strength early in the week, all through practice.
And as you can see, he's protecting the bottom. Tony Stewart just slid up the racetrack. He and Jimmy Johnson are going to make contact.
3 wide. They're bouncing off each other.
Tony is some kind of frustrated and some kind of upset. Got the best car all day and getting shoved back to 6.
We're all trying to block and do what we can, and evidently he was upset with me blocking him like you're supposed to.
I mean, if he wants to talk about it, I'm easily accessible.
The teams tried to push onward. Instead, they were pulled in the wrong direction.
We were humbled. You know, Tony was dropping out of the top 10, and the other guys were struggling.
Bobby Labonte, 6 races this year, 4 DNFs, engines and wrecks.
Jason Leffler up in smoke.
Trouble in turn 2. Jason Leffler bounces off the walls, and the yellow flag is out already in the Food City 500.
All 3 teams struggled, at times seeming unable to finish a race. And small problems mounted, threatening to magnify into a year-long epidemic.
We have a good car, and it's like, okay, how are we going to screw this up today? Something's going to go wrong, whether it's in our control or out of our control.
After a loose lug nut at Martinsville, the wheels threatened to come off on the number 20 season.
Are you sure you got these wheels tight? And yes.
He loses a tire going into turn 1. The tire is off, bouncing up through turns 1 and 2.
I guess it was tight then, wasn't it?
They said it was tight, so.
Guess what? It ain't tight.
I see that. I'm sorry.
You know, we kind of realized, hey, it's not about the trick parts and pieces. It's about the guys you have working there and how they work together and getting that communication, which is hard.
I'm one of those people that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And if I have a bad day, I mean, I'm not going to hide it from people. I mean, you're going to know I had a bad day.
For Gibbs Racing, it had become the worst of times. Jason Leffler had failed to qualify at Charlotte. But then, fortunes began to look a little different.
This car was green the other day, and when Jason Leffler didn't make the show, they wrapped this car in the FedEx colors.
And I just think that shows great cooperation between the Joe Gibbs Racing sponsorships.
You know, when my dad left and kind of looked at me and said, don't screw it up, you know, and then you promptly, all your teams fall out of the top 20. That's not a real good start.
Who's going to win the Cup 600?
Look at that 18 car, Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte trying to win for the first time in the last 48 races.
I just don't think that Bobby Labonte can make his Chevrolet wide enough to keep Jimmy Johnson in his rearview mirror. Here comes Johnson. He's going to race to the outside, side by side, and down to the stripe. Jimmy Johnson will win the Coca-Cola 600 by a half a car length.
Stop, bud.
And for Bobby Labonte, your heart has to go out. This guy has endured a heck of a drought.
Bobby Labonte's night had come up inches short, but Gibbs Racing had turned the corner, and their progress would be measured in miles.
To come back, I think that kind of shows some of the stuff we've been working on here at the shop finally starting to pay off.
We have raced as hard as we can every week from day one. Everybody's been chasing Roush and Hendrick all year, and it was a matter of time before, you know, our team and some other teams actually find the variables that get us caught up.
In June, Tony Stewart saw a ray of light, and the number 20 season took a hard right turn in the right direction on the road course at Sonoma.
Smooth, buddy. Hit your marks there. I'm driving one-handed. It's kind of hard, bud.
There was nothing Zippy could do about it. All I said is I'm driving with one hand and just left it at that and concentrated on what I had to do.
Tony Stewart will win his first victory of the season.
To finally just get that first win and say, hey, we're on the board now, and get back to doing what we do best, that's trying to win multiple races.
It took only 1 week for Stewart to reach victory lane again. After that, the number 20 drove like a midsummer night's dream.
I feel like that we're on top of our game right now, and as long as we just keep doing the things that we're doing, we should be okay. That's the big thing, is leave here every week believing that you can put yourself in position to win.
But for the Indiana native, no race was more important for Stewart than to realize his dream at the hallowed ground of the Brickyard.
It's the number one goal that I've ever had in my life, is winning a race there. You grow up in the state of Indiana, there's no place that means more to you than Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Tell these ain't none of them can stop me today. This is all mine.
A native Hoosier, his dream comes true. Yes! Tony Stewart wins the Brickyard.
You guys have helped me live my lifelong dream today. I appreciate it.
No matter what happens the rest of my life, I've got that trophy that says I'm the Brickyard 400 winner. So if I never win another race the rest of my life, I've got that trophy.
At Watkins Glen, Stewart continued his ascension in the point standing. After winning 5 out of 7 races, the Home Depot team had rebuilt their season from the ground up. But in the standings, the number 11 was still trapped in the basement.
But when you're adding that third team and you're going through some of that stuff, those were the cards we were dealt. We had to do the best we could with them. I think we learned a lot, you know, because we were taking some things, I think, a little bit for granted.
Leffler had failed to make the grade at the School of Hard Knocks. So in August, a change was made.
That was pretty frustrating, but, you know, that's racing.
It was a hard year for us at Joe Gibbs Racing. We've never been through anything like that before with that 11 car in the FedEx group, and they've been super supportive the whole way. So I'm excited to kind of come together and make this announcement. Really look forward to a great future with Denny.
I've had a great experience with Joe Gibbs Racing so far, and hopefully this is our last announcement for tens of years. The next one hopefully will be retirement.
Bobby Labonte may not be retiring, but he too will be moving on to the greener pastures of Petty Enterprises.
It's tough, you know, tough doing this, and it's been a great 11 years with everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing, Interstate Batteries. It's hard because they're family.
To fill the seat of a past champion will be a challenge, but Gibbs Racing is counting on J.J. Yaley to re-energize the Interstate Batteries team.
I think our attitude of coming in this year and just saying, hey, for once, let's just enjoy the experience of being here for the week and have fun with it. It made us all more relaxed and made it to where it was easier for us to go through the motions.
In 2005, Tony Stewart stood tall as the number 20 blazed a path toward their second Cup crown. Rome wasn't built in a day. So too can be said of Roush Racing. And the architect of this modern-day racing empire is its founder, Jack Roush.
What justifies that, what makes that possible, is the template set that we put over our people. The guys are all on the same page, the shock absorbers are very similar, the springs are very similar, and the performance of the cars is more similar than it's ever been. Right now we're at an all-time high. I expect Mark to win, I expect Matt to win, I expect Kurt to win more, and I'd be surprised if Carl Edwards, as a rookie, doesn't win at least 3 times this year.
Every empire has its Royal Guard, and Roush Racing had the National Guard team of Greg Biffle. In 2005, nobody won more races than the number 16.
We have 5 wins, but you know, we've had some other runs that weren't stellar that we need to improve on. And so every single week, you know, we're running in the top 5 without a doubt. And you know, I'd consider that being in the zone at that point, because it's going to take that to win the championship.
Biffle started his 3rd season in the Cup Series by winning 5 of the first 15 races. But it was the emergence of first-year Cup driver Carl Edwards who was the most pleasant surprise for Roush Racing in 2005. In the 3rd race of the season, Edwards announced his presence with authority.
You're the best in-shape driver out there. Go get it, man. I know you can do it. I'll give her everything I got.
The final sprint to the checkered flag proved to be a race for the ages. Carried by the number 99 and guided by the steady hand of Jack Roush, Edwards seized his first win. It would not be his last. In the Roush empire, Mark Martin is the keystone. To the team, he's a father figure. To Jack Roush, he's the prodigal son.
I cannot think of an instance when I haven't been on the 6 box when the races start. 99.9% of the last 18 years I've been on the box for the 6.
In the annual All-Star race in Charlotte, the prodigal son was the brightest star in a night that celebrated NASCAR's best.
What you should expect is the best effort all the time. And that's what I always give, and that's what the guys on the Viagra team always give, is their very best effort.
The team's victory set the stage for the 2005 chase and an assault toward the NASCAR summit. With 3 races left in the regular season, Matt Kenseth was mired in 15th place, 104 points out of the chase. At Bristol, he looked to change his fortunes.
It'll be green-white checker here to the end, Matt. Green-white checker.
All right, who wants to win more? 56 races since his last win.
After winning his first pole of the year, Kenseth looked for his first win.
Can Jeff Burton catch Matt Kenseth? He closes in on Kenseth, but Kenseth will lead off of turn number 2, 2-car length separation.
He's trying as hard as he possibly can to catch that 17 car, but he's not going to be able to do it.
He's not. Matt Kenseth wins at Bristol.
The number 17 needed a miracle to make the postseason. At Thunder Valley, Kenseth was a rainmaker. His win sparked a late-season explosion that launched the 2003 Cup champion into the 2005 chase. 2004 Cup champion Kurt Busch started off the season as standard bearer for the Roush Empire.
It's one thing that we take a strong pride in at Roush is the way the teams work together. And if we can help him out by letting him lead a lap, that's 5 points to his tally.
With wins at Phoenix, Pocono, and at Richmond in the final race before the chase, Busch cultivated Cup dreams and hopes of repeating as champion. But during that same time, the seeds of discontent had grown between Busch and Jack Roush. During the chase, those feelings grew worse.
By the way, we just got informed none of our teammates are going to give us anybody 5 points.
Cup dreams have become a nightmare, and Roush suspended Busch for the final 2 races of the chase, replacing him with journeyman Kenny Wallace. But any contentiousness pallid in the face of an unforgettable season and unparalleled success. Jack Roush had steered all 5 of his cars into the postseason. Of the 10 teams in the chase, half drove for Roush Racing. For 8 months and 26 races, competitors battled week after week for the right to be one of the 10 contenders in the greatest chase in motorsports. And as the regular season ended, the field reassembled, and the battle for the Nextel Cup began.
So the chase begins today, and the excitement builds for the next 10 weeks. So who has the advantage in these final 10 races?
When it was all said and done in that 10 races, almost everybody kind of had a bad day throughout those 10 weeks, so it kind of evened everybody out.
Let the chase begin.
Last year, Kurt Busch finished first. But in the first race of the 2005 chase, the defending champ was the first to run into trouble.
Kurt Busch into the outside retaining wall with only 2 laps on the board in New Hampshire.
Chief, we got the pin got into us and the nose and everything's crushed in. Probably need a radiator and all that good stuff. Someone needs to go down there and get the driver, man. Looks like he's heading down that way towards the 10 pit.
While Busch battled to keep control of his emotions, Ryan Newman battled to gain control of the race.
The way everything cycled through, we thought there was going to be a couple cars that tried to make it, I think 100, 120 laps on fuel. They actually came in and pitted.
Tony Stewart up the racetrack. Here comes Ryan Newman.
You know, it was good, clean, hard racing.
The chase begins in New Hampshire, and Ryan Newman wins.
Hell of a job, guys. Ryan, that was some beautiful driving, bud. You guys did a good job. Let's go have some fun 9 more times.
We had a great, loud, and great first race in the chase, but there's a lot more to come.
In the second race, the track of Dover proved to be a monster for contenders to try and tame.
At Dover, if you don't have a car that's comfortable underneath you, you're not going to race well.
Matt Kenseth is in the wall. The piece of debris is like 6 feet long, and the whole car hit it.
Third last week, but perhaps his mulligan used up at Dover.
I couldn't believe the pace that we were running.
These are racing teammates from Hendrick Motorsports going at it, coming down to the line. It's Jimmy Johnson crossing the line first.
Great work, boys. You guys rock!
I personally was just so relieved to win a race in the chase, to get up into the points lead.
The Monster Mile then gave way to the biggest beast in all of racing, Talladega.
From the driver's standpoint, you just got to race, and hope things work out.
You can get out of some things, but if you're right in the middle of a hornet's nest, you're not going to get out of it.
Trouble in turn 1. Mark Martin is in it, one of the championship contenders.
Sorry, guys. Awesome job. Man, I'm sorry.
Championship leader Jimmy Johnson got a piece of that also.
And that's what these guys in the chase especially are worried about, is this right here.
Newman throws a block.
Inside at your quarter, it's your bumper.
Oh, wow. Boy, oh, boy.
Good move there. Wow.
At those speeds, and to have the confidence to hang it out like that, it's you got to hold your breath and hope everything works.
Make it 3 wide for the win at Talladega. Stewart on the bottom. Dale Jarrett on the outside trying to steal it. Dale Jarrett is going to win.
For all the 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 UPS employees, this is for them.
One of the sport's favorite sons had won. Now, another NASCAR legend would have his day in the sun.
We had a spectacular car for the race in Kansas.
I think that's one of the reasons you see all the Roush cars in the top 10. They've been so dominant on the intermediate tracks, and it's one of our weak points, and that's what we've been trying to improve on all year.
Look at Ryan Newman just make contact with that left front fender.
If you don't have a car that's fast enough, you're not going to be able to make up points if you do have a bad day.
This race is just zipping along.
15 to go, bud. 5 more. You're the man. 2 more. 2 more.
I mean, my car was just faster than everybody else's. It was just easy.
For somebody that sucks at Kansas City, you looked awful good today.
Mark Martin will win his first victory of the 2005 season.
Thank y'all for making a winner out of an old man. Only you guys could do that. I love you.
I can't win these races without my guys, and I owe it all to them.
Teamwork had helped Martin leave his mark on the chase. But in the early goings at Charlotte, Tony Stewart was a one-man show.
We had the dominant car for Charlotte. I mean, got to the lead. We definitely had the car to beat there.
And I tell you what, Tony Stewart, his car just keeps getting faster and faster versus the competition.
Didn't have any tire problems, but we cut a tire down.
Tony Stewart into the wall.
Little right rear tire going into turn 3.
The championship leader has brought out the caution at Charlotte.
My fault, guys. I promise you. I had a tire go down. I felt it too late.
We'll continue
continue to go to the racetrack and try to race hard, and we'll put ourselves in position to go to last 2 races and be in the hunt.
I worked my way through the pack, had already pulled away from the 97. We were in position to win the race.
Jimmy Johnson calls this his house. Jimmy Johnson, 4 in a row.
You guys are the best. Woo! Thank you so much. Never quit, man. All the adversity tonight, that's true championship form.
I do feel that we're carrying momentum, but we're going to an entirely different type of race.
At the halfway point in the chase, competition shifted to the only short track of the postseason.
Right now, there's still 5 guys that really have a chance at winning. Probably all 10 that still mathematically have a chance.
Green flag goes in the air, and Tony Stewart wastes no time in punching the throttle to hit off turn number 1.
Watch the Roush cars because none of them really that strong this weekend.
I think there was 3-4 good race cars that were capable of getting up there and winning that race, and it all kind of came down to track position at the end.
Tony looking to the inside.
Oh, and he gets to the back of the 48.
The 24 car, you could just kind of watch him, progressing slowly through the day.
Don't you worry, buddy. You're faster than that 20.
Jeff Gordon brings Hendrick Motorsports back to victory lane at Martinsville.
What an awesome job you guys did today. I'm so proud of you. Woohoo!
After missing the chase, Martinsville was a measure of redemption for Jeff Gordon and new crew chief Steve Letarte. For contenders, Atlanta was the next target.
We're going to have perfect days, and we're going to have days that are subpar for guys like Tony and Jimmy. It's going to take perfection.
Carl Edwards dusting the wall off on turn 2.
Carl Edwards was clearly the contender to watch, even as other chasers' chances slipped away.
And these fellas, I think we can say goodbye to them in 2005 as far as the NASCAR Nextel Cup is concerned.
The simplest conclusion is probably the one that guys were just trying real hard,
Just race the racetrack. Keep being smooth, bud. You're running good lap times.
Carl Edwards will make it a clean sweep at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in 2005.
Way to do it, buddy! Woo!
That win just hopefully will kick off a month of just really awesome, great racing and good luck. That's what we're going to need.
Edwards had vaulted from a dark horse to a legitimate contender, with 3 races left in the chase.
I feel real comfortable on the 1.5 mile racetracks. We know our equipment can win at tracks like that, so we'll just have to go there and fight to the end.
At Texas, Biffle's breakout season spun out of his control.
Trouble along the front stretch. Greg Biffle spins.
We're going to get this back, man. It ain't over yet. It's going to be a fight. It's probably going to be the biggest struggle we've had all year, but we're going to get it.
Well, he got spin on turn 4. It's like Biffle again.
Our destiny was in our hands. We had bad races. We have to improve on our program to be a stronger contender.
Let's tune it like we're tuning it. And if it comes down to a mad dash, we're just drive the hell out of it.
I think he just had confidence in his abilities and confidence in the performance of the race car relative to the number of laps that he had left.
Here comes Carl Edwards. He's going to pass for the lead. Made it look easy. The white flag in the air.
1 to go, buddy. 1 to go. Drive it home, man. You can do it.
Carl Edwards wins at Texas.
You are the man. You are the man. Superman is here, guys.
I love racing. That's what I love about the sport, is getting to drive the race car, having those battles and racing with those guys like that, especially when so much is on the line.
With everything on the line and only 2 races left, contenders would draw a line in the sand in the Phoenix desert.
Unless I leave Phoenix and they tell me all we have to do is start the race at Homestead, I won't be comfortable till the checker flag drops.
Keep the fenders on that thing. Have a fun, safe day, boys. Go out there, have a good day, have a lot of fun. This is a long race, Carl. Clutch, buddy, clutch. It's yours. We can win these last 2. Let's do it. 2 to go. Let's win them both.
We knew going into Phoenix that the only thing we could do is try to lead every lap and win the race.
Greg Biffle took over the top spot from Kyle Busch, but Kyle's coming back.
It was so late in the race, you couldn't do anything but, basically cross your fingers and leave it up to the drivers to do their job at that time.
Tony Stewart doing right now a good job championship-wise. He's ahead of Jimmy Johnson and Carl Edwards.
At least you know I'm not out here just riding.
White flag, babe. Nice and smooth. 1 more.
Kyle Busch is going to victory lane. He will win.
Yeah, boys. That's it. Right there.
Good job. Great effort by Joe Gibbs Racing there today.
Good job today, guys. I'm proud of you.
That's all we keep telling each other, just keep it alive. Somehow, some way, we found ways to do that.
52-point advantage going to Homestead next week. Your thoughts entering that race as you try to lock down the second championship?
I hope I don't lose any more than 51.
Edwards had gone from dark horse to front runner. Johnson would need to get back in the saddle and regroup. And Tony Stewart would hope to hold the reins for one more week. One last race. One final showdown.
The championship picture well documented by now. Tony Stewart leads by 52 points over Jimmy Johnson, 87 over Carl Edwards. Greg Biffle still mathematically in contention. All that means that Tony needs a 9th place finish today to clinch the championship.
The green flag fell, and the curtain rose on the final act of a 36-race drama. The NASCAR season began in Florida, and it would finish in Florida, where one team would take home the Nextel Cup. Entering Homestead 4th in the chase, the number 16 was down, but not out.
Think it's badass. Yeah, boy.
The opening laps were like the opening rounds of a heavyweight fight. Contenders fighting for a championship. It was Carl Edwards who looked for the quick knockout.
I don't know if you can keep track of it, but laps led. You know, we got to lead the most, so you tell me how hard you're going to get these guys and who we got to race for that.
Don't worry about it. I'll let you know, bud.
Come on, buddy. Let's get one shot here, you know.
All season long, Tony Stewart raced as hard as he could toward one goal. Now, with the Nextel Cup within reach, he needed to play it safe.
Tony Stewart started 20th, up to 16th.
Needs to rotate the center just a little bit.
Here is the slogan for the day for the 20 team, mistake-free.
I'll tell you what, if he can run that line that he is running now, if he can run this slow on the racetrack and not get loose, he will have a fantastic day.
One thing about being mistake-free, too, as a race car driver, you got to give everybody a little bit more room today than you normally would.
Got the 5 up here with some kind of tire smoke going on. 3 or 4 up from me.
Oh, he's got trouble.
He does.
Hold on to it, buddy. Hold on to it. 9's coming inside. He's just got a little tweak in his fender there that's rubbing the tires.
There he goes.
Oh, trouble in turn 4. Kyle Busch around into the outside wall. Just loses it on its own.
Championship leader Tony Stewart was right behind that. Boy, he's lucky.
Damn, I don't need no more of that. That hurts my heart.
For Jimmy Johnson to catch Stewart, he needed to avoid trouble.
One outside, all clear. Buddy, try to settle in and get a rhythm, man.
He's either got a problem or thinks he does.
Settle in, Jimmy. Settle in, bud. You can get this figured out, man. Just settle in. Make sure your right rear tire blower's on.
Johnson, that tire continuing to get softer by the moment, and he's about to go a lap down to Jeff Gordon.
Here's his teammate sizing him up off the end of the backstretch. Gordon's going to go to the high side. Johnson loses it into the outside wall.
Spun around here, Chad. Backed it in the fence, left side.
And there's the end of his championship hopes right there.
Okay.
Blew a tire. Blew a tire.
Great job. Good season. Go home.
Hang in there. 274. Good lap. Piece of cake, brother. Piece of cake.
We never did get ourselves in a situation where we weren't going to win the points if it ended at any particular lap. So we never got to a position where we worried, but we got to a point where we had to really stay on our game and not get too lazy with it.
Tony Stewart runs 15th.
Well, all Stewart's got to do right now is just stay on the racetrack. So if he just keeps running, he's safe.
4 to go at the line. Just let him go. You got plenty of room behind him.
In the war for the Cup, Stewart was on the road to victory lane. But for two Roush teammates, the war may have been lost. But there was still one last battle to be won.
What an unbelievable finish to the 2005 season.
Out of 4, they come to the line. Wow! Greg Biffle wins the race.
Oh, great job, guys. Great job. Hey, did we get second?
What a fantastic fantastic finish.
Watching for Tony Stewart.
Come on, champ.
Yeah! Way to go, guys!
Tony Stewart is the 2005 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series champion.
Man, I'm proud of you guys.
You're the man, babe.
Hey, Smoke, you there? Yeah, how you doing, bud? I'm great, babe. I couldn't be better. I want to get with you guys ASAP.
Under a rain of fireworks, Tony Stewart had returned to reign over the racing world. Driven by the inner fire of the man known as Smoke, and guided by the burning heart of champions, forged by the crucible of adversity, the Home Depot team blazed a road to glory and scaled the summit of NASCAR to lay claim to the 2005 Nextel Cup.